Have you ever bought anything online to assemble yourself? Yes, one of those kit sets where things just don't seem to go together quite as they should, and there's always a big bag of pieces left over. Well, that was my experience when I bought this kit set to go onto my tenant's deck last summer. And it just happened that, well, most of it went together, but one of the 3 items just kept falling apart, and I was ready to throw it out. I couldn't even put it on Marketplace or Trade Me because it's just dangerous to sit on. So I've been wondering what to do with it. And then I thought, I need a garden feature. This could be part of my recycled garden feature to put an extra shine and zing into my garden when I open it to the Rotorua Festival of Gardens in November this year, 10th, 11th, 12th. So turning a piece of junk I would normally have had to throw away into something that looks really great, become this recycled pretend armchair made out of succulents. I've never been a fan of succulents and growing things just for the look rather than a function, but I found that at the last place I lived in, waiting for this place to be built, these little round rosette succulents in here were being pulled out by the birds, hungry for worms, and just throwing them onto the edge of the driveway. And I was constantly putting them back, but they would never grow because of this barrage from these birds who seem to have taken a real dislike to these little rosettes. They didn't like them one little bit. I picked up a few and popped them in the various bits of my garden that seemed to be bare. And now that kindness is actually working out to get my succulent garden started for free. I rescued some of these little rosette succulents. I'm sure they have a name, but I haven't got them at the top of my mind at the moment. From the Zen garden and bamboo screen I planted between both my houses, one for the tenant here and a little Zen garden, so that they don't have to look straight into my bedroom. And here I found a little range of things that I could have. Actually quite big. This is a very sculptural looking plant, and it grows little pups, and I've been rooting those, but I've been able to get some of them. And then another that will drape and fall beautifully like a shawl down the back of this chair. These have happily given me up some of their growth to create a whole new garden for free. A eye-catching place just to stop and take something in the garden, which I've found when you're looking around somebody's garden in a festival, having something that makes you stop and say, wow, makes that visit particularly special and memorable. That's my aim. Rotorua Festival of Gardens, eye-catching. First of all, I needed the chair that was falling apart, too dangerous to sit on. Then I thought, can't leave it in this garden. Someone's going to sit on it and it will still collapse. I have purchased just this little wall hanging trough from Bunnings that works really well. You can see it's just hanging over the edge of the wall there. You can't see. Oh well, anyway, take my word for it. There's a couple of hooks that do it. I already had these ceramic pretend flowers that brightens up a spot in winter. Drape some of these down. I'm hoping to have a shawl-like effect walking over the top of this chair. And I want a cushion-like effect with some of these succulents. And this one, called Garden Carpet, grows like a weed. Sort of wish I hadn't planted it in some respects, but anyway, I have, and so it's going to work for this. Again, it's going to fall down the front, and then finally a footstool. I've got repetitive shapes contrasting with the dark grey of the chair. This will become a quirky little feature amongst other quirky little features of my garden. The idea for this project using all recycled items has been evolving for several months. I haven't just decided today to put it together. I've put a piece in the garden, like that chair, and looked at it and thought, what else can I do? Talked to a few people, got some ideas, tried them out, Some of them worked well, some of them, well, I couldn't implement them at this stage. You never know, might do in the future. But it's amazing how with some time and some thinking and some input from other people, how you can come up with something that eventually works. And that's really what gardening's about as well. You're looking at ways in which you can continuously change as the season changes, and what can you do with things that don't work out, and how can you not throw stuff away when it has a perfectly good use in another lifetime in your garden. What else can you do to create something that you were going to discard, to make it into an unusual and quirky piece of art you to enjoy and for your visitors to marvel at your creativity? More on my next video on how I'm preparing this garden to be an entry into the Rotorua Festival of Gardens in November this year.